Now we are going to start with another law, that is the Dalton's law of partial pressure. As the name suggests, it is obviously given by Dalton, and now just look at the board what it is trying to explain us. It states that suppose I'll just state an example, then I'll come to the statement. Then I think you'll get it in a correct manner. Suppose I have one system, right, in which I have many gases. Let's say gas 1, gas 2, gas 3. We have many gases. Temperature and volume is constant. I'm keeping temperature and volume constant. So, and the second thing is that these gases are actually non-reacting. They don't react with each other. So I have a system in which I have a mixture of gases, gas 1, gas 2, gas 3, and they are obviously non-reacting and they are present at constant temperature and constant volume. So now we know that gases exert pressure, you all know, right? So the total pressure which the mixture of these gases will exert is actually equal to the partial pressure of each gas, or you can say it is equal to the sum of the partial pressure of the each gas. So like gas 1, it will exert pressure P1, let's say gas 2 exert P2, gas 3 exert P3. So what about the total pressure? It is going to be sum of all these individual pressure, that is the partial pressure. Right. So this is what the Dalton is trying to explain us. It states that the total pressure exerted by mixture of non-reacting gases, this is a compulsory condition, the gases must not react with each other, right. So mixture of non-reacting gases is equal to the sum of their partial pressures of an individual gas. Now as you all know that what is in partial pressure, must be thinking, or I'll just recall for you. Partial pressure is actually a pressure which a gas would exert when it is present actually alone. Means it is not present with some other gas, it is actually present alone. So the pressure which a gas would exert when it is present alone is something called as partial pressure. This is what it will be like. Gas 1 will be exerting its partial pressure P1 in here, it will be exerting P2 and P3. So the total pressure will be just equal to the sum of their individual pressures. So this is what we have. Now as we know, we can just change we can write the formula in terms of nRT also. As we know, by ideal gas we have PV is equal to nRT or P is equal to nRT upon V. So that means we can write the expression in terms of this also. So let's say for gas 1 it is N1 RT upon V, RT and V are constant. For gas 2 it is N2 RT upon V, for gas 3 it is N3 RT upon V. So like we can have this, that P total is equal to N1 RT upon V plus N2 RT upon V plus N3 RT upon V. Taking RT upon V common, so we have N1 plus N2 plus N3. So whenever you need to use equation, whenever the moles are given, you can make use of this expression. And when you have only partial pressures, you can make use of this expression in order to calculate the total pressure. Now we can also express this in terms of mole fraction. Suppose I need to find the partial pressure for P1. Suppose I don't have this partial pressure of P1, but I have the moles, right? So how I am going to do that? I am going to do that like P1 is the partial pressure due to one gas. Its contribution in the mixture is obviously N1 divided by total number of moles. Suppose we have 3 gases, then N1, N2 and N3 are the moles for gas 1, gas 2 and gas 3 into P total. So that means we can also calculate the partial pressure, like if you have a we need to find in terms of mole fraction, or you need to find a partial pressure, then we can do it by this manner also. So this is what is the Dalton's law is trying to explain us. Now we have actually 2 applications based on Dalton's law. One, I have already told you that we can actually calculate the partial pressure in terms of mole fraction. Second is that you know that whenever like we perform an experiment in the lab, what we do actually, we like if sometimes the gases form, we often collect the gas over water, right? So what happens when the gas gets collected over water? I'll just remind you. Suppose this is my tube which is coming and this is my beaker in which I have this kind of thing, in which I have water. So we say that the gas just bubbles and get collected here. right? So what happens when the gas moves from here to here, it gets saturated with water vapor, or you can say the water vapor is present in the gas. The gas here is not a dry gas, it actually has a water vapor in it. Right, and this is something, and you know that we know that gases exert pressure, but now the pressure will be due to a gas also and due to a water vapor also. So the pressure which is exerted by the saturated gas with water vapor is called as something aqueous tension. So what is aqueous tension? Aqueous tension is actually the pressure exerted by the gas saturated with water vapor. Pressure exerted by gas saturated with water vapor. That is something called as an aqueous tension. So now here what we get is, like if I am talking about the total pressure here which is present, it is actually contribution of the pressure of the dry gas which a gas would exert when it is present alone, plus the pressure due to water vapor, and we say that it is actually a aqueous tension. So when we need to find the pressure for the dry gas, we can easily do that by just subtracting aqueous tension from the total pressure. So these are actually the two applications which are based on the Dalton's law. One is that you can express the mole fraction, partial pressure in terms of the mole fraction, and second is that you can know the pressure for the dry gas. How you can know that? By just subtracting the aqueous tension from the total pressure. And what is aqueous tension? The pressure exerted by the gas when it is saturated with water vapor. That is what is the aqueous tension. Now it's time to take up the question again. See what I have in this question. I have a neon and dioxygen mixture. I have a mixture. Suppose I have a container in which I have two gases, neon and O2. Obviously they are non-reacting because we know that this is the condition which has to be satisfied in order to obey the Dalton's law. Now it contains O2 is 70.6 grams. Let's write here O2. What is the mass? 70.6 grams, right? And neon is 167.5 grams. We'll make another column where we have mass 167.5 grams for neon. Now when they are present as a mixture, what total pressure they exert? They exert 25 bar. They exert 25 bar. Now we need to find the partial pressure for this and partial pressure for that. So we need to find P1 for this, let us say P2 for this. So we know that what is the formula actually. Suppose I need to find the pressure for this, I need to take its contribution N1 divided by total moles, its moles and its moles, into total pressure, which we have is 25 bar. But we don't have moles actually. So the first step in this question is to calculate the moles. How we do that? Given mass over molecular mass 32, it comes out to be 2.21 moles. Likewise, we need to find here also. So it comes out to be N is equal to given mass 167.5, neon mass is 20, it comes out to be 8.375 moles. Right, now we have moles actually. So just put its value here. So P1 is equal to N1 is 2.21 and N1 plus N2 is 2.21 plus 8.375 into 25, right. So this is the expression to calculate the partial pressure due to O2. So what do you get after solving it? We get 5.25 bar. I think you can do the calculations. These are the simple mathematical calculations. Just a multiplication or an addition, you can do that, and what you will get is, you will get the result, that is 5.25 bar. Let us do the same thing for the neon gas. So I need to find the partial pressure for this. For this I need its moles, obviously 8.375 divided by the total number of moles. The same thing, 2.21, 0.8 plus this into total pressure. And once you will solve this expression, you will get 19.75 bar. So this is how you need to calculate the partial pressure. So just remember the formulas. Once, like if you are given with the partial pressure, let's I say that O2 exert 25 bar, the neon exert 30 bar, and you need the total pressure. Just add them. 30 plus 25 comes out to be approximately 60 bar, right? And if you have the moles, you need to put the formula like this, and if you need to find the partial pressure, you have to do like this. So this is so simple. So, and the two applications, don't forget to do that, because you may get a question related to its application. So one is that we can find the partial pressure in terms of the mole fraction, and second we can find actually the pressure for the dry gas, and it also introduces a new term, that is the aqueous tension. And what is that? It is the pressure exerted by the gas which is saturated with the water vapor. So this is what is the Dalton's law of partial pressure.